Irresistible isn't about beauty, it's not about youth, and it's definitely not about perfection. It's about something far rarer: emotional strength, quiet confidence, and habits that make people feel safe, inspired, and seen. Today, we're breaking down 6 of those habits. Have you ever met a woman who didn't demand attention, but owned the room anyway? She didn't speak the loudest, she didn't try the hardest, yet people leaned in when she talked. They respected her without her asking for it. That's not an accident. That's maturity in motion. And maturity, when practiced daily, becomes magnetic. Emotional regulation is the quiet discipline of choosing your response instead of surrendering to your reaction. It is not about suppressing feelings or pretending everything is fine. It is about awareness first. A mature woman notices what she feels without being consumed by it. When frustration rises, she doesn't let it spill over onto everyone around her. When disappointment hits, she doesn't collapse into blame. She pauses. That pause is power. In that space between stimulus and response, she evaluates. What am I really feeling? Why is this triggering me? What outcome do I actually want here? Instead of escalating conflict, she de-escalates it. Instead of matching anger with anger, she introduces calm. This doesn't make her weak, it makes her stable. Stability is rare, and rarity is magnetic. Emotional regulation also means she doesn't make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. She understands that feelings are valid, but not always reliable narrators. So she gives herself time. She processes before she pronounces judgment. She communicates without attacking. She expresses hurt without humiliating. That balance builds trust because people know where they stand with her. In relationships, this habit transforms everything. Disagreements become discussions, not battles. Stress becomes a shared challenge, not a personal attack. Her presence feels safe because it is predictable, not boring, predictable in strength. Others don't have to walk on eggshells around her moods. They experience consistency. That emotional steadiness signals depth. It shows she has done the inner work. She's not controlled by every wave of feeling. She knows how to ride it. And in a world that often glorifies dramatic reactions, her composure becomes captivating because calm under pressure communicates strength more loudly than chaos ever could. Self-respect is the internal standard that determines what a woman will and will not tolerate. It is not loud, defensive, or performative. It is quiet certainty. A mature woman does not wait for others to define her worth because she has already decided it for herself. She understands her values, her strengths, and even her flaws, and she accepts them without shrinking or exaggerating. That self-awareness becomes the foundation of how she shows up in the world. When a woman respects herself, she does not beg for attention or chase inconsistent behavior. She observes actions more than words. If someone's treatment falls below her standards, she addresses it calmly or removes herself without drama. Walking away is not about pride. It is about alignment. She knows that staying where she is undervalued slowly erodes confidence, and she refuses to participate in her own diminishment. Self-respect also shapes how she speaks about herself. She does not insult her own appearance for validation or downplay her achievements to make others comfortable. She accepts compliments with grace instead of deflection. She invests in her growth, her health, her education, and her peace because she believes she is worth the effort. That belief radiates outward. In relationships, this habit creates clarity. People understand her boundaries because she enforces them consistently. There is no confusion about what she stands for. She is kind but not easily manipulated, compassionate but not self-sacrificing to the point of resentment. Her confidence does not need to dominate a room. It simply anchors her within it. Self-respect is magnetic because it communicates stability. It tells the world she is not seeking to be completed, rescued, or validated. She is choosing connections, not clinging to them. That difference shifts the dynamic entirely and creates attraction rooted in admiration rather than insecurity. Deep listening is more than hearing words. It is the discipline of being fully present with another human being. A mature woman understands that most people are not desperate to be impressed. They are desperate to be understood. So when someone speaks, she is not mentally preparing her response, checking her phone, or waiting for her turn to dominate the conversation. She gives attention without distraction. That level of presence is rare, and rarity creates value. She listens not only to what is said, but to what is meant. Tone, pauses, body language, shifts in energy, she notices them. When someone says, "I'm fine," but their voice tightens, she gently asks a deeper question. She creates space for honesty. Instead of interrupting with her own story, she allows silence to do its work. Silence, when used intentionally, invites vulnerability. Deep listening also requires humility. It means accepting that her perspective is not the only one in the room. She seeks to understand before seeking to be understood. Even in disagreement, she doesn't rush to correct or dismiss. She reflects back what she hears, ensuring clarity. This makes others feel validated, not judged. And when people feel safe from judgment, they open up more fully. In relationships, this habit builds emotional intimacy. Conflicts soften because both sides feel heard. Trust strengthens because communication feels mutual rather than competitive. She doesn't use information shared in vulnerability as ammunition later. That integrity deepens respect. Her listening transforms conversations from surface exchanges into meaningful connections. People leave interactions with her feeling lighter, clearer, and valued. They feel important in her presence, not overshadowed by it. And when someone consistently makes others feel seen and understood, attraction grows naturally, because being truly heard is one of the most powerful emotional experiences a person can have. Purpose-driven living means her life is anchored to something larger than momentary approval or fleeting attraction. A mature woman does not orbit around attention. She moves in alignment with intention. She has taken time to reflect on what matters to her, her values, her passions, her standards, and she allows those principles to guide her decisions. That clarity gives her direction, and direction creates stability. She doesn't wake up asking, "Who will validate me today?" She wakes up asking, "What can I build, contribute, or improve?" Whether it's advancing in her career, nurturing her family, developing a creative skill, serving her community, or strengthening her inner life, she invests energy into growth. That investment compounds over time. It builds competence, and competence builds confidence. Purpose also protects her from settling. When someone's presence disrupts her peace or distracts her from her path, she notices. She does not abandon her ambitions to keep someone comfortable. She understands that the right partnership complements her mission rather than competes with it. That mindset shifts her from dependency to discernment. Living with purpose influences how she handles setbacks. Challenges are not identity threats. They are obstacles to navigate. Because her worth is not tied to one outcome or one relationship, she remains resilient. She adapts without losing herself. That resilience signals strength without aggression. People are drawn to those who are moving somewhere. Momentum is attractive. When a woman is committed to her growth, she radiates energy that feels grounded and inspiring at the same time. She becomes someone others respect, not because she demands admiration, but because her life reflects intention. Her focus, discipline, and sense of direction communicate that she is not waiting to be chosen. She is actively choosing the life she wants to create. If this resonates with you, pause for a moment and reflect. Which of these habits are you already building, and which one needs your attention? Growth starts with awareness. Calm confidence is the ability to stand firmly in who you are without needing to announce it. A mature woman does not rely on volume, comparison, or constant visibility to prove her worth. She understands that true confidence is internally sourced. It comes from preparation, self-awareness, and experience. Because of that, she does not feel threatened by the presence of other capable people. She can celebrate others without diminishing herself. She speaks with clarity rather than force. When she enters a room, she observes before she asserts. There is no rush to dominate conversations or perform for approval. Her body language is relaxed, her tone measured, her eye contact steady. These subtle cues communicate assurance more effectively than grand gestures ever could. People sense when someone is comfortable in their own skin, and that comfort creates ease in the environment. Calm confidence also means she does not crumble under criticism. She evaluates feedback without becoming defensive. If it is constructive, she learns from it. If it is unfair, she does not internalize it. She knows that not every opinion deserves access to her self-perception. That discernment protects her peace and prevents emotional volatility. In relationships, this habit shifts the dynamic. She does not compete for attention or manufacture jealousy to feel desired. She does not chase reassurance at every sign of distance. Instead, she trusts her value. That trust reduces neediness and increases stability. Her presence feels grounded rather than demanding. Because she is not desperate to be noticed, she becomes unforgettable. Because she does not beg for validation, admiration comes naturally. Her confidence is quiet but unmistakable, steady but not rigid. It is the kind of strength that does not need to prove itself repeatedly, and that restraint makes her presence feel powerful without ever feeling intimidating. Boundaries without bitterness reflect emotional clarity. A mature woman understands that saying no is not an act of aggression. It is an act of self-preservation. She does not wait until she is overwhelmed, resentful, or exhausted to draw a line. She communicates expectations early and calmly. Because her boundaries are expressed with steadiness rather than hostility, they are easier to respect. She recognizes that boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about defining what she will participate in. If someone speaks to her disrespectfully, she addresses it directly instead of silently tolerating it. If her time is being misused, she protects it. If a relationship becomes one-sided, she reevaluates her investment. There is no need for dramatic ultimatums because her actions align with her standards. Consistency reinforces credibility. What makes this habit powerful is the absence of bitterness. She does not punish people for crossing lines. She clarifies and adjusts. She understands that resentment grows when boundaries are unclear or unenforced. By speaking up with composure, she prevents small frustrations from becoming deep wounds. Her tone remains respectful, even when her stance is firm. That balance signals strength without hostility. In relationships, this creates emotional safety. Others know where she stands. There are no hidden rules or unpredictable reactions. When she says yes, it is genuine. When she says no, it is final but fair. This predictability builds trust because it removes confusion. Boundaries also reflect self-worth. They communicate that her time, energy, and emotional capacity are valuable resources. She does not overextend herself to earn approval. She gives generously, but not at the expense of her well-being. That disciplined self-respect makes her presence feel stable and secure, and that stability naturally commands admiration and deepens attraction. Gratitude and grounded optimism shape the emotional atmosphere around her. A mature woman understands that energy is contagious. When she consistently focuses on what is working rather than obsessing over what is missing, she shifts the tone of every room she enters. This does not mean she ignores problems or pretends life is perfect. It means she chooses perspective. She acknowledges challenges without allowing them to define her identity. Gratitude begins with awareness. She notices small efforts, small wins, small moments of beauty. She expresses appreciation openly, whether it is for someone's time, support, or kindness. That habit strengthens relationships because people feel valued rather than taken for granted. Appreciation creates warmth, and warmth builds closeness. Her optimism is not naive positivity. It is resilience in motion. When setbacks occur, she asks what can be learned instead of who can be blamed. She reframes obstacles as opportunities for growth. This mindset keeps her emotionally balanced during uncertainty. Others feel steadier around her because she does not amplify fear or drama. She brings perspective when emotions run high. In relationships, gratitude prevents entitlement. She does not assume effort is automatic. She recognizes it. She does not constantly compare her situation to others. She invests in improving her own. That focus reduces insecurity and cultivates contentment. Optimism also makes her future-oriented. She believes improvement is possible, which encourages collaboration rather than conflict. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel lighter. Her presence does not drain energy with constant complaints or criticism. Instead, she contributes encouragement and perspective. That does not mean she avoids hard conversations. It means she approaches them with hope rather than hostility. This balance of realism and positivity creates emotional stability that feels refreshing and inspiring, strengthening bonds and deepening attraction in ways that negativity never could. Consistency is the bridge between words and trust. A mature woman understands that attraction may begin with emotion, but it is sustained by reliability. She does not operate on unpredictable highs and lows. Her character is steady. What she says aligns with what she does. Over time, that alignment creates credibility, and credibility creates security. When she commits to something, she follows through. If she cannot, she communicates clearly rather than disappearing or making excuses. This reliability builds confidence in others because they know her behavior is not driven by fleeting moods. She does not offer affection one day and withdraw it the next as a form of control. Her emotional presence is stable. That stability reduces anxiety in relationships and replaces it with assurance. Consistency also applies to her standards and boundaries. She does not enforce them selectively based on convenience. If respect matters to her, it matters every time. If honesty is important, she practices it even when it is uncomfortable. This predictability strengthens her integrity. People may not always agree with her, but they understand her. In her personal growth, consistency shows up as discipline. She invests in herself repeatedly, not only when she feels motivated. Whether it is maintaining her health, nurturing her skills, or protecting her peace, she treats growth as a habit rather than a temporary burst of enthusiasm. That commitment compounds over time, shaping her into someone grounded and dependable. Trust is not built in dramatic moments. It is built in repeated small ones. Every kept promise, every calm response, every aligned action adds another layer. Others feel secure because her behavior does not fluctuate with external pressure. This steady pattern of integrity transforms admiration into respect, and respect into lasting attraction. Irresistibility is not a performance. It is not a strategy designed to win attention. It is the byproduct of inner alignment. When a woman regulates her emotions, respects herself, listens deeply, lives with purpose, carries calm confidence, sets clear boundaries, practices gratitude, and remains consistent, she does more than attract. She inspires. These habits are not about impressing the world. They are about mastering the self. And self-mastery changes the way the world responds to you. It shifts relationships from chaos to clarity. It replaces insecurity with stability. It transforms attention into admiration and admiration into respect. The truth is, maturity is magnetic because it is rare. In a culture that rewards noise, reaction, and instant validation, a woman who embodies steadiness stands out without trying. She does not chase. She chooses. She does not beg. She builds. She does not react. She responds. And that is the real secret. Irresistibility is not something you seek from others. It is something you cultivate within yourself, one habit at a time.